Ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the one and only...
She certainly does not look her age, and for a long time she has kept her age a secret, even from her own family. And no Botox, no false teeth, and no hair dye. On one visit to her doctor for a sore finger, he raised his voice and said to her, "Never mind your medical complaint, you have 5 different birth dates on your record." It is my pleasure to introduce the honoree of the day.
I would like to introduce my family who have all come today. Please stand. My family: Matt Schiller, attorney; Mike Wallach, attorney; my niece, Debbie, who has the school; my sister-in-law, who bothers me all day long, Carol; my darling nephew, Ian; and my lovely showbiz, Lily, and their mother, Debbie. Thank you all for coming. Mainly, I would like to thank all of you for coming out in such a terrible day. And you know something? You all make me feel so young. You make me feel so young. You make me feel that spring has come. And even when you smile at me, I'm such a happy individual. You make me feel so young. You make me feel there are songs to be sung, bells to be rung, and a wonderful fling to be flung. And even when I'm old and gray, I'll never be old and gray. I'm gonna think of you this way, 'cause you make me feel so. You make me feel so. You make me feel so young. Since it's my birthday, I ought to tell you a little bit about me, I guess. Well, of course, I had 2 parents. My father and mother both came from Russia in the early 1900s. My father was never that thrilled about Russia. And my father, who in his whole life never saw an open range, considered this his favorite song, indicative of the wonderful country of America. Oh, give me a home where the buffalo roam, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. How often at night, when the heavens are bright and the shimmering light light of the stars. Have I stood there amazed and asked, as I gazed, if their glory exceeds that of ours? Home, home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Oh, give me a land where the bright diamond sand flows leisurely down the stream, where the graceful white swan goes gliding along like a maid in a heavenly dream. Then I would not exchange my home on the range, where the deer and the antelope play, where seldom is heard a discouraging word, and the skies are not cloudy all day. Is this stuff loaded?
Pearl, you're ready for the big time.
Woo!
We'll take you to New York. New York.
Now, I've heard about my father. Now, I'm going to tell you about my mother. Well, since both parents were from Russia, the little stories that I used to hear as a child were about the snow maiden in Siberia and the ballet, the Anna Pavlova, Nijinsky, the ballet russe. Well, my mother had a 3-octave range in voice. And I asked her once, why haven't you done something with your voice? She said, well, in Russia, the only people that singing was done either in the church or the synagogue. But there was a fiddle in every house. Every house had a fiddle. My mother had beautiful, large brown eyes, something like the Gustav Klimt painting. In Eastern Europe, that was what was considered the beautiful kind of eye to have. Well, when I came into the world, I had red hair, and I had freckles, and I had light eyes. She thought there was something wrong with my eyes. So she took me to her sweet neighbor, Mrs. Pittenger, next door. And she said, I think my baby is sickly. There's something wrong with her eyes. So Mrs. Pittenger took baby Prue in her arms. She looked and she laughed. There's nothing wrong with her. She just has green eyes. Well, I decided, since I hated my green eyes and I couldn't stand my freckles, when I got married, I was going to marry a man with dark hair and dark eyes. And that's what I did. I married a man with dark hair and blue eyes. You can't win. Anyway, my mother had these beautiful, beautiful dark eyes. Well, there was a popular love song then called Dark Eyes. In Russian, it is Ochi Chornya. And the English words go like this. Oh, those big dark eyes, how they tantalize when they stare at me, how they glare at me. Every part of you in a dream come true. But your beauty lies in your big dark eyes. I would like to introduce my wonderful pianist, Jack Kirkland. Stand, Jack. But you see, we are changing the name. I had a manicure yesterday, And as you talk to your barber or your hairstylist or whoever, you chat. So we got into personalities and ethnicities. And she said, well, I can tell you're Irish. You're an Irish lady, aren't you? I said, huh? So anyway, yesterday I was Irish. This afternoon, I am a Russian, like my heritage. Well, there was a couple weeks ago, I saw a movie with Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, and it was called Top Hat. The storyline is that Ginger Rogers has the ballet, just a regular dance troupe, and Fred Astaire is an aspiring dancer, but he pretends to be a Russian ballet dancer, but he doesn't know any Russian words. So he fakes a Russian accent, and when she says, how do you do? All he can think of is the only two Russian words he knows, dark eyes. He says, Ochi Chornia! That was Russian for dark eyes. So now, a gypsy love song, Ochi Chornia, dark eyes! Ochi Chornia, Ochi Zgucia, Ochi Strasnia, I прекрасная, как люблю я вас, как боюсь я вас, знаться, видеться вас, я не добрый час, очи черные, очи страстные, очи жгучие и прекрасные, как люблю я вас, как боюсь я вас, знаться, увидеться вас, я не добрый час. Очи черные, ай, очи страстные, ай, очи жгучие и прекрасные, ай, как люблю я вас, как боюсь я вас, знаться, увидеться вас, я не добрый час, хай! Well, you've heard about my mother's life. You've heard about my father's life. Well, maybe now it's time to talk about my home. I, who have never crossed that first ocean, I want to talk about my home. Back home again in Indiana, and it seems that I can see the gleaming candlelight still shining bright through the sycamores for me. A newborn hay sends all its fragrance from the fields I used to know. When I dream about the moonlight on the Wabash, then I think of my Indiana home. This was supposed to be my final selection, but my friend Peggy Wiggins, who cannot come today, called me and said, Pearl, I can't be there, but would you do me a favor? I said, what? She said, I want you to sing that wonderful song you sang a while back. I feel we all need that song. Will you sing it even if I'm not there? I said, yes. So for Peggy Wiggins and for all of you, the one thing we all want right now is peace. Let there be peace on earth. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant for me. With God as our Father, brothers all are we. Let me walk with my brothers in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in perfect harmony. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Thank you, everybody.
Encore.
No.
No encore.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear girl. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. Oh, what a beautiful cake. Thank you, Mrs. Allison. Thank you. I'm not going to use my soprano voice to blow this off. I'm supposed to have a lot of breath as a singer.
Down to earth.
Had Hanukkah symbols on it, and the other half was Christmas symbols. She said that was for her Christian friends.
I want to salute the Queen of the High Seas, that's C''S. And I always remember at Irma Sauer's funeral how she did such a beautiful rendition of Laura's theme from Dr. Zhivago. That was Irma's favorite song. Everybody wondered why anyone would sing that at a funeral, but we knew why.
A few years ago, back in the 90s, I owned a newspaper called The Register. She proved every single word of every paper for, 6 or 7 years. And she was a real stickler, so she wanted to make sure that ours didn't have that, and it never did. Thank you, Pearl.
You're a gift to all of us, and you know how much we all love you and love to hear you. We all love Pearl, and we've all gotten to know her, and I love her, and no one could have a better friend.
These were the earmuffs that she gave me 25 years ago. They come on ski trips. She's always taking care of us, and I wear these every single year when it gets cold, and here I am with them, and I need them today. So I guess this is just a little thank you.
Pearl is like my sister, except she's nicer than my real sister. But
it was a cold winter night on January the 10th of 1926. A day probably not much different than what we have today in Elkhart, Indiana. Elkhart is right off the lake. And no doubt there must have been about a foot of snow on the streets of Elkhart. Pearl's mother went into the hospital the day before our honored guest today. Her father and mother were proud of this young lady, this new child. As I look across this white plain, I'm looking at Elkhart. I'm looking at your father and mother looking down. And I want to give you the traditional Irish blessing, because I believe that as I see here on your 90th birthday, your mother and dad looking down as the snowflakes come down on this beautiful plain, that would remind your dad of Russia. It was cold at this time of the year. I say to you, may the road always rise to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. May the sun shine warmly upon your face. And the rain fall softly on you. Until we meet again, God hold you in the palm of his hand. God bless.